So we just started 5 miles, 3 o'clock. It's like 107 out. I'll explain why later. Goodbye. So my knees hurt. Ever since I jumped on the board to start, my left knee has hurt every push from the time I landed. I'm wearing a brace right now. Couldn't find a second one, so doing just one. So far so good. Still got some foot pain, but now that I've done this before, I kind of know what to expect. I know my feet are gonna hurt. I know my knees are gonna hurt. Whatever. You gotta do it. Break one. 2.5 miles in. It's hot. Losing calories, or losing water. Taking a break. Okay, we are. I did the math wrong on this. I think it's 6 miles total. So one more than 5. And now I'm basically at the halfway point. I'm at 3 miles right now. Hard part is over. Mentally, the hard part, getting through some sticky points when there's some wind in your face, slowing you down. Inner leg is hurting. My knee, left knee was hurting from the first push. You gotta drink. Oh, we made it to the top of the little hill. And the wind's blowing against me on the way here. So now I'll be heading northbound. The wind will be going with me more, not against me. So definitely gonna be easier. Particularly, I got a downhill part right here, and then the wind's gonna be going with me, and there's a slight decline on the way back home too. So it's gonna be easier. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about why I like to do this, why I like to lift weights. Why do I go to the gym at 2 o'clock in the morning? Sometimes twice a day. Like I did this past week. I went to the gym at 2 in the morning and didn't like my workout. It was on my mind all day, and I went after work for 45 minutes. Got some good work in. And then now it's like 107 after I've been at the gym at 2 o'clock this morning. And a day at work, and I got home and it's 107 at 3 o'clock, and I got to do this, I like to push. For me, it helps me, deal with the pressure or tension I have in my head, heavy emotions. I've always been very emotional, and sometimes that's hard because I get very angry or upset. And so, I think one of the reasons I lift weights as much as I do, as hard as I do, as early as I do, and I do this when it's 107, is, I'm angry, and this helps, get that anger away. And I used to be really soft and very submissive, overly submissive, and very afraid, very weak, physically and mentally. And over the years, I've transformed myself to where I'm not so weak, physically or mentally. Now I don't crumble when things get hard. I very often do hard things, even when I'm anxious about them, or or I know I'm gonna fail, or I know it's gonna hurt. It's one thing that weightlifting has taught me, is that it's taught me, but it's ingrained in me more than anything, the ability to do hard things, even when you're in your head about it, or even when your body doesn't want to do it, or even when the quit enters your mind. You still do it. Sometimes I fail, but more often than not, I push through it and I do it. And the gym taught me that. And this is similar, Who wants to go and longboard 6 miles at 3 o'clock in Arizona in the summer? It's 107 out in the sun after a full day at work and the gym prior. So, my phone died because of the heat. And it turned off because the temperature got too high. It's not a hickey, Noah. My buddy at work was, is that a hickey? No. It's from the barbell, from push press. Anyway, yeah, so my My phone got cooked. As I was saying, this is pretty. As I was saying, I feel like I just got to do this. It makes me tougher. It teaches me lessons, and I have to constantly remind myself that I'm not who I was. So, I got to do this. I got to lift weights. I have to do these things. Yeah.